The grand hotel lobby shimmered with marble floors and golden chandeliers, but the atmosphere that evening was thick with tension. A man of power and presence stood near the exit, his jaw clenched, his steps sharp, and his eyes burning with fury. He was an Arab billionaire, known across continents for his wealth, influence, and commanding personality. He had come to the city for an important deal, but betrayal, dishonesty, and disappointment had marked his stay. Tonight, he was done. His bodyguards trailed behind as he prepared to leave, their black suits moving like shadows across the floor. Guests and staff parted silently, watching in awe and fear as the man strode toward the doors. Nothing, it seemed, could stop him, until a small voice broke through the silence, soft yet powerful enough to cut through the storm. It wasn't the voice of a businessman or a politician. It wasn't even a voice of someone who mattered in that world of power. It was the voice of a child, fragile yet steady, speaking words in flawless Arabic. The billionaire froze mid-step. His heart, heavy with rage, stumbled inside his chest. Slowly, he turned his head, his eyes narrowing in disbelief as he searched for the source. And there, standing near the reception desk in worn-out shoes and clutching the hand of a tired-looking man, was a little boy no older than 6. The boy's eyes were wide and innocent, yet filled with sincerity far beyond his years. The father, a single dad struggling to keep his dignity, looked startled, almost embarrassed, as his son spoke words he had never been taught by him. Before we continue, dear viewers, take a moment to pause and reflect. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of unexpected encounters that can change lives forever, then please like this video, share it with someone who might need hope today, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps bring more such emotional stories to light. The billionaire's face softened for the first time that night, but only slightly. He studied the boy, his heart still torn between anger and curiosity. The boy's Arabic was not broken or hesitant. It flowed smoothly, with an elegance that surprised even the man who had spent his entire life speaking it. For a moment, the billionaire felt transported, reminded of a younger version of himself, when his own innocence had not yet been hardened by power and betrayal. He approached slowly, his footsteps echoing in the grand hall, and the father's grip on his son's hand tightened. The father was a man worn by struggle. His eyes carried the fatigue of endless shifts at low-paying jobs, of bills piling up, and of dreams buried beneath responsibilities. Life had taken much from him, his wife, his stability, and nearly his hope. But it had not taken away his love for his son. The child, unaware of the gravity of the moment, only wanted to help. He had grown up watching his father fight battles no one saw, listening to stories in every language he could find, learning through sheer curiosity. Arabic had been a fascination, something he picked up from books donated at the library and videos online. He didn't know his words would reach the heart of a man who had nearly closed his doors to compassion. The billionaire stopped before them, his towering figure casting a shadow over the father and son. In that silence, the weight of two very different worlds hung in the air, the glittering wealth of one man and the quiet endurance of another. The father, heart racing, feared that his son had offended this powerful man somehow. But the billionaire was not offended. He was struck, deeply, by how destiny had chosen this child to remind him of something he had forgotten, that humanity, innocence, and kindness were greater than wealth or pride. He looked into the father's eyes, and for the first time, the single dad saw not the glare of a furious tycoon, but the searching gaze of a man who had lost something inside himself. The billionaire asked, in his commanding voice, how the boy had learned his language. The father, humbled and still wary, explained that his son was curious, that he loved learning, and that he taught himself, from whatever scraps of knowledge they could find. The boy tugged on his father's sleeve and whispered another phrase in Arabic, something about hope and patience, words the billionaire's own mother had once told him as a child. Those words broke something open inside him. He remembered nights in his childhood when his mother sang to him in Arabic, reminding him that strength was not just in wealth, but in mercy and kindness. He remembered the boy he once was before money hardened his soul. For the first time in many years, his eyes grew wet, though he quickly blinked the tears away. The hotel staff watched in silence, astonished at the transformation unfolding before them. The billionaire, who had stormed into their city like a storm, was now standing still, listening to a child as though he were the most important person in the room. The father could not comprehend what was happening. He had come that evening only to ask about a delayed paycheck from the hotel, money he desperately needed to pay rent and keep food on the table for his boy. He had expected humiliation, maybe rejection, but never this. His son, innocent and unknowing, had touched a man's heart in ways money and power never could. The billionaire asked the father about his life, and with quiet honesty, the man spoke of his struggles, the long hours, the losses, the loneliness. He admitted he feared he was failing his child, even though he tried with everything he had. The billionaire listened, each word echoing in his mind like truths he had long ignored. For the first time in many years, he saw wealth differently, not as an empire to protect, but as a tool to uplift. He asked the boy what he wanted to be when he grew up. The child's answer was simple yet profound. He wanted to be someone who helps people smile again. Those words struck deeper than any business deal, more valuable than any fortune. The billionaire realized he had been chasing power while losing the essence of life. That night, in that glittering hotel lobby, he made a decision that would change everything, not just for himself, but for the father and son standing before him. The days that followed saw miracles unfold. The billionaire delayed his departure and personally intervened to ensure the father received not only his paycheck, but an opportunity that changed his life. He offered him a stable position, one that valued his work and gave him dignity. He arranged for the boy's education, ensuring that his curiosity and brilliance would never be limited by poverty again. But more than the material support, he gave them something rare: his time, his guidance, and his friendship. The father, who had felt invisible in the world, was now seen. The boy, whose innocence had opened a door, now had a mentor who believed in him. The billionaire himself was transformed. Where once there was fury, now there was gratitude. Where once there was pride, now there was humility. And all because, at the brink of his departure, a child had spoken words that reminded him of his soul. Life, he realized, was not about leaving behind empires, but about touching lives. And dear viewers, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can come from the most unexpected places and that second chances can change destinies, then please like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, subscribe for more such powerful stories, and share this with someone who needs hope today. Every click, every share spreads the light further, and together we can keep these stories alive. The furious Arab billionaire had come to leave with anger, but he stayed because of love. And sometimes it takes only the pure voice of a child to remind us of who we truly are.